I'm not the kind of person that bothers people, but it was Denzel. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, damn, if Denzel Washington, and he tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, "Hey, lover, you're taller than you look on TV, bro." I was like, oh.
Hey, run it up by the morning. Only one still on it. Only one still on it. Only one still really feel the feel, getting it on. Yeah. We gotta go.
All right, welcome to the Culture Club Uncensored. Of course, I'm your host, Osei The Dark Secret, the podcast here that amplifies how music influences everything. And our guest today is definitely a household name with a career that spans 3 decades, known for his humorous commentary and quick wit. DJ, filmmaker, radio personality, actor, musician, author, comedian, philanthropist, podcaster, an all-around hip-hop and pop culture game changer. Best known for his role as half of the host duo on Yo MTV Raps. Peace and love to Dr. Dre, where they brought the hip-hop culture into millions of households. Of course, influenced me as well. He's also known for his catchphrase, "Come on, son," which actually became a YouTube series. None other than the legendary Ed Lover himself.
Hello.
Welcome, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us, man.
All
It's
the
an
time.
honor.
Thanks for having me,
Yeah,
man.
man, no question.
I don't take none of that for granted, bro.
Yeah,
I don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
You ain't have to ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when people ask, I feel good about that. That means I'm still on somebody's mind somewhere. So I thoroughly and really and truly appreciate it.
Hey, man, listen, I used to get up Saturday mornings to catch you on TV Raps. You understand? And
Like I used to get up to watch Soul Train, right?
Absolutely, man. So iconic, man. We got to give you your flowers now.
Thank you.
You're one of the original influencers. Got to ask you this, Ed. What were you listening to on the way over here?
Oh, man. On the way over here, I was actually listening to Roxanne Shante on Sirius XM. She got a show called Have a Nice Day.
Yeah.
So they play a lot of the classic hip hop from the 90s, a little LL. I think Keep Their Heads Ringing was playing by Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
From Friday.
Okay.
And Dr. Dre is like probably the greatest hip hop producer ever. It's debatable, but Dre is sonically, and the way his music sounds, and it's so clean, and the elements that he put into his music. I'm always enthusiastic about listening to something that Dre produced because I've known Dre for over 30 years, and I've watched his progression. So whenever I can hear a little Dre, I'm definitely listening to it.
Yeah. What's it like spending time with him?
Dre is incredibly intense, a lot of fun, but he's a musical dude. Like, he's like a Quincy Jones to me. Like, they're all about the music. And when you hear a lot of stories coming out now about cats that work with Dre, and Dre made him stay in that booth for 4 or 5 hours to get one part down. He is absolutely meticulous in what he does. He doesn't throw anything together. He doesn't throw anything out. And I'm still waiting for the detox to come out.
Right.
Because I know
Yeah.
this guy got vaults and vaults and vaults of music.
Yeah.
He actually cut a whole album with Rakim that we never heard.
Yeah.
So anytime you get to hear anything by Dre, it's a treat.
Yeah. He's that much of a perfectionist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's deep, man. One of the greats of across hip hop, period, but definitely of our time.
R&B, everything.
Everything.
People don't realize,
Everything.
as big as Miss Chalet was, that was Dre production on that whole album.
Yeah.
The World Class Record Crew, Before You Turn Out the Lights,
Dre.
that's a Dre production.
Yeah.
Dre is not just hip hop. He's just a great producer, period. There's not a lot of cats that can say that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you've come across some of everybody. What genres are on your playlist?
Everything, man. I listen to jazz. Ahmad Jamal passed a little while ago. That was sad. I listen to rock. I listen to hip hop primarily. I love R&B. I love classical. I just love music, man. I'm a music cat, so I love music.
What song gets you pumped up for the
Oh
day?
my God!
Typically.
And what kind of mood you talking about?
Whatever mood you're in.
You talking about mood when I want to punch somebody in the face that did something wrong to me in the 3rd grade?
Okay.
Shook Ones Part 2 by Mobb Deep. You play Shook Ones, I might lose my mind depending on how I feel.
Yeah.
That always gets me going,
Yeah.
man.
Havoc and Prodigy.
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
Havoc's another one is one of the greats,
Yeah.
man.
Great
And P,
producer. Yeah.
Watching P from when they first started to where P was as an MC before he passed away, incredible, dude. And anything Anything by Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Anything by Wu-Tang. Shame on a Nigga. That's my joint. All Wu-Tang, man.
Okay.
All Wu-Tang.
Okay, all Wu-Tang. Well, who's your top 5?
I don't have one. I never do it because it's unfair to every MC. Like, nobody has told me how do we choose a top 5. Do we go by record sales? Do we go by lyrics? Do we go by voice? Do we go by social impact? Nobody has quantified that for me, so I don't do top 5s. I go by who was dope in their era.
Okay.
Because everybody had an era. Like Melly Mel, to me, is one of the most important MCs ever. Because before Melly Mel, everybody was kind of like a throw your hands in the air type of thing. And Mel was really the one who really started putting whole rhymes together. Like, you know, you had Love Bug Starsky, DJ Hollywood, Busy Bee, all them cats. And, you know, you had Kumo D and all them dudes in that era. We cannot, as hip-hop enthusiasts and hip-hop lovers, leave out any era of the music. And then what do you say about a cat like Mos Def? He might not be the biggest selling rap artist ever, but when he spits, it's amazing. What do you say about Black Thought? So what do you say about Bun B? Like, where do we put a top 5? I just never do it out of respect to the craft.
I understand. I know that you grew up in that era.
Yeah, that was my era.
Tell me about the energy of that era when, because, you know, for me, hip hop obviously has energy, just like coming to Atlanta.
Right.
People come to Atlanta and they're like, man, you can just feel the music. You can feel the pulse. I know in New York, Hot 97 used to just.
Well, even before pulse. Hot 97, man, it was an energy that we were a culture. We dressed a certain way, we talked a certain way, we lived a certain way. It was more of a culture than it is now. Now I think it's rap. Before that, it was hip hop. It was all the elements. It was graph writers. It was break dancers. It was DJs. It was MCs, what they call the 4 pillars of hip hop, right? That was the culture. So whenever you went somewhere, it wasn't just about the rap music. Like, I remember a time when the DJ was way more important than the MC was.
Yeah.
When you had break dancers where if you couldn't be a DJ or you couldn't be an MC, which was and still stands for Masters of Ceremony, you were a breaker. Or if you had artistic value to what you were doing or you could sketch really well, you were a graph artist. So the 4 elements of hip-hop, that feeling that we had as being, you know, I'm a kid on the outside looking in. I just wanted to be a part of it because it was something different. It was something that was growing, and it was something that nobody could understand. And it was just a way of life. Like, it was like the coolest way of life. It wasn't Soul Train. Don Cornelius didn't like hip-hop. He was forced to put hip-hop on Soul Train. It was our thing. It was something that we created. It weren't even records out yet. You know, I learned about hip-hop through the tape, man. The tapes came out, and they would circulate the 5 boroughs, right? And, you know, my manager, Dan, is from the Bronx, and he always loves to remind me if it wasn't for the Bronx, this rap shit probably would never be going on, so tell me where you from uptown, right? And it's the truth, because it started in the Bronx. In the Bronx, those tapes went out. Fantastic Romantic 5, Cold Crush Brothers, always got respect for Grandmaster Caz, right? A lot of people don't know that every lyric that Big Bank Hank said on Rapper's Delight was a Caz. Caz gave him his book and said, yeah, well, we'll go ahead. And he spit all of Caz's rhymes. That's why you hear him say, I'm the CASANOVA, and the rest is FLY. That was Grandmaster Caz, Casting of a Fly. So those tapes got duplicated and duplicated and duplicated, and they spread out across the 5 boroughs. And that's how most of us really got put on the hip-hop before records. We knew who everybody was. We knew the Funky 4 plus one more. We knew Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 because of the tapes. No radio, tapes.
Yeah. So the vibe in the streets, the pulse was just crazy.
It was crazy. You couldn't go nowhere where somebody wasn't laying down cardboard and then taping it to the ground in the projects or in the park. Park jams were all over everywhere where the DJs would just play music, man. And the music they was playing was not hip-hop.
Yeah.
It wasn't hip-hop. It was disco. Disco moved into hip-hop because the MCs started rhyming over the break beats of these disco records and then the James Brown records and the break beats and all that. So that vibe is incredible. Like, you sitting at home or you're in your yard or you're in front of your building And people are just talking, yo, they jamming at wherever, and you just go down there, man, to get to music, to hear the music.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
What was it like when crack hit, obviously?
Oh, crack destroyed everything, brother. Crack is probably
How did it impact the music?
It impacted the music because on the end part of crack, the people that were in that life got out of that life, and they started talking about that life. Like I always say that our generation or the next generation after, like I'm talking like Nas and Jay, all of them cats are what they saw were crack dealers. This generation is drug users. Instead, they talk about being on Molly. I dropped 3 Percocets. I'm high off this. We told you what we saw and what we went through, so you didn't have to go through that. Yeah, crack is the worst thing that ever happened to us, man.
Wow. We'll I wanna touch on a couple other things with that a little bit later, but your greatest musical influences, obviously, you know.
Earth, Wind and Fire. Of course, James Brown. Motown. When it comes to hip hop, it has to be early Def Jam, early Uptown, and cats like that. But the early musical influences were from my parents. Like, I was lucky enough to grow up in a 2-parent household. So every Saturday we had to get up and we had to clean up the house. My moms would go and get to the record store, get the top 20 records that was on the chart, and she played it. So I always knew who Little Richard was. I always knew who O.C. Smith was. I always knew who Ray Charles was. I always knew that music because that's the music that was played in my house.
Wow. Take us back to where it all began, man. Who came up with Yo MTV Raps?
Oh, well, Yo was a show that was just a show about pop culture, and it was in Europe. And Peter Doherty was, God rest his soul, he was in Europe, and Sophie Bromley was the original host of Yo in Europe. Ted Demme, who was a friend of mine from, believe it or not, church. My best friend Kurt, who's still my best friend to this day, parents were Episcopalian. Ted's father and his family were Episcopalian. So whenever they went to these religious retreats to calm Kurt down, they always took me along. Bad decision. Me and Kurt drank all the communion wine, smoking weed. We did everything. We met Ted. And Ted was like the coolest white kid I ever met in my life, man. This is junior high school. He loved hip-hop music. He knew all about it. So we always stayed in touch with Ted. And then when Ted went to college, we stayed in touch with Ted. Okay. And then when Ted got out of college, he started being a production assistant at Yo MTV Raps and came up with this idea of creating a rap show on MTV. Because you remember, MTV really hardly ever played black music. You know, Sony had to threaten them to take all their music off of MTV for them to even play Michael Jackson. Rick James sued them because they wouldn't play it. It was a rock and roll video station. And Ted and Peter put their heads together and they came up with Yo MTV Raps, man. And thank God for Fab Five Freddy, man. I always give love to Fab whenever somebody talking to me because Fab did, well, Run DMC were from my neighborhood. One of them did the pilot with Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince and from their Raising Hell tour. Pilot took off. They needed a host for a weekly show. So Fab was downtown cool. You know, you heard Debbie Harry on Rapture say, Fab Five Freddy told me everybody's fly, DJ Spin, and I said in my mind, because Fab was that downtown cat. So they tapped Fab, and they started Yo MTV Raps on a weekly. I saw it, and I saw Ted's name on it. So I started bugging Ted, like, yo, I need to come on there and do a record report, a fashion report, or something. Don't nobody know more about hip-hop than me. When it blew up, they decided to go to a daily show. And Ted called me to come in and audition for it. Peter called Dre. I didn't know Dre at all. Never met Dre a day in my life. Met Dre at the audition. Dre auditioned first, and then he went upstairs to talk to Peter because Dre used to be the tour DJ for the Beastie Boys. He had his own group on Def Jam early called Original Concept. And then Ted brought me in, and he put me on tape. Ted looked at me, and he called Peter. He says, Dre still up there? He said, yeah. He said, send him to my office. Dre came down. We started talking. Ted said, I want to put you both on tape together. So I said, Dre, you what's your nationality? He said, well, my mother and father's from Jamaica. So Ted had Ted had just came from vacation. He had these dreadlock wigs, and me and Dre put them on.
that.
He put us on tape, and Ted said, skinny, fat, Abbott Costello. That's what I want. And MTV agreed to it, and that's how we got on.
Wow.
And this is 1989, March of 1989.
What were you doing daily?
School safety. I worked for the city of New York as a school police officer, making $723.26 every 2 weeks. And Ted said to us, MTV said, yeah, it's a go, but we only got $1,000 a week. And I was like, I'll take 500. Dre was like, I'll take 500 in addition to my 723. So this $500 a week.
So you were still
doing school safety for a long time,
yeah.
because we only taped you on TV Raps one day a week. And then we went from that $500 a week, and it took off, and it was like the #1 rated show on the network. And we went and we got Rush Management, which is Russell Simmons and Leon Cohen. And Leon walked us in there, and he negotiated a deal. And I'll never forget that day, because he told us to sit outside, and me and Dre sitting on the couch. And Leon comes out with this stoic look on his face. And the first thing in my mind is, Leon done fucked this whole shit up. We done lost our jobs. Thank God I'm still at school safety. I'm going to be all right. And he said, don't say nothing. We got in the elevator, went downstairs, we got in front of the building. And Leon said, you are the two luckiest motherfuckers in the world. I just got y'all $250,000 apiece. Just like that.
Leor walked in.
He knew how much they were charging per commercial. He knew what we were making for the channel.
Yeah.
And he negotiated the right contract for us.
What did you do that day?
Damn, I went back home and told my moms. I was like, Ma, I'm making more money than you and Dad have ever made in your life. And the first thing I did was pay my mother's house off. You're good. You don't have to worry about paying no more mortgage. Just take care of the property taxes, and that's it. It's the first thing I did.
What did she say to you?
She cried, man.
That's beautiful.
She cried, because my mom's comes from a super humble beginning in the South, you know? Her mom died when she was 7. So to have worked as hard as she worked, to have gone to night school, I remember that, to get her diploma when I was a kid, and for her kids to come up and do something like that, and to be able to do that for her, it meant a lot to her.
Yeah. Kudos, brother. Very interesting, backstory to you. I know you've interviewed some of the best of the best. Is there a particular interview you may regret?
No. I think I had some guy on that they forced on us that was some French rapper, but he was trash. And it was a terrible interview. Yeah. But other than that, everything from Nana Cherry, I got something that I'm the most proud of now.
Like what?
James Brown, man. We had James on for a week. Bobby Brown, when he was on the top of the world, just sold 10 million. MTV couldn't get him to do nothing. Bobby was my man. He came and did Yo on TV Raps. And Bill Cosby, man. We had Bill on. Bill Cosby it was retarded how that happened, bro.
What was it like with him?
Bill Cosby was in his office. This is what he tells me. He's in his office, and his daughter Erin was in there. She was watching Yo on TV Raps, and she was laughing at a character that I did. So he calls MTV looking for me. So they give me the number. They left it on my answer machine. Bill Cosby looking for you. Call the office. So I call the office back, and they give me the number. So you got to call Bill Cosby's office. So I was like, damn, I got to call Bill Cosby. And I remember when Eddie Murphy did his stand-up, and he was like, Bill Cosby only calls you for 2 reasons. Either he likes what you're doing, or he thinks you're destroying the culture, and he's going to read you on it. So now I'm scared. And I call, and I say, hi, this is Ed Lover, and somebody from Mr. Cosby's office called me. And they said, hold on. I'm going to put Mr. Cosby to pick up the phone. Hold on. Now, this is Bill Cosby. This is the height of the Cosby Show, dude. Yeah. It's the #1 show in America. Yeah. And I cannot believe that this dude is calling looking for me. This man, this icon. Yeah. He picks up the phone. I think I'm going to talk to the third assistant. Or wait, he got on the phone, and he tells me that he was watching the show. And he was like, you was doing some character, man. And I was just cracking up. And I liked it. And he said, my daughter likes it and I like it. And I said, thank you, Mr. Cosby. No, call me Bill. And he goes, I'm going to come on that show.
Wow.
And then I'm going to have you on my show. And I'm
Cosby
like,
show.
Yeah.
Let's be clear now, yeah.
The Cosby show, bro.
Okay.
And he came.
Wow.
And they rolled out the red carpet, man. They had the green room. All the executives from Viacom came downstairs. Everybody's waiting for Bill Cosby to come. And then he calls me again. And he says, hey, I'm running a little late. And I'm like, it's no problem, Mr. Cosby. And they like, we got to get this because he's going to have, this guy's uber rich.
Yeah.
He's huge. And he jumped out of a yellow cab with a newspaper under his arm by himself. Mm. And he did a week worth for you on TV.
So I got to ask you this. What were the execs saying to you when you made that happen?
They couldn't believe it, man.
You were the man.
They could not believe that Bill Cosby came to hang out with Ed Lover and Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is we were shooting, and everybody now is on the floor. Now, normally, there's a cameraman and a producer and another producer in the booth, handle everything. And he looks at me, he goes, is this usually what it look like when y'all doing this? I'm like, nah, it's just like me and Trey, T-Money, the cameraman, and my man right there. Yeah. He goes, wait a minute, stop rolling tape. Everybody get the fuck out of here. He threw everybody out. He's like, I'll come see y'all when we're finished because I want this to be the same way it's always been. Yeah. So he was, and then he did have me on the Cosby Show.
Wow. Yeah,
it was cool.
How did that change your life, just being on
the Cosby Show? Yeah. My God, man, to be seen
like
that many people and that atmosphere
at that time.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's huge. What was it like with James Brown? I was kicking it with him.
Oh my God, the Godfather of Soul, the man whose music is the foundation of most great hip hop records. It's been sampled probably more than anybody else in the history of music, right?
Especially that era in New York.
Yeah.
It got it started.
To hang out, man. I called my mom, like, Mom, James Brown is here,
Mom had to be blown away.
Yeah, Mom was blown away. And he was so cool. Yeah. And everybody on the set had to call him Mr. Brown except me, Dre, and T-Money.
What y'all call him?
James. He's like, you call me James. I said, my first name is James. You James? I'm James too. And he was talking, and I was like, I don't know what the hell James Brown talking about, but this is cool, man. Yeah. It was a dream come true.
That's crazy. What's one of your most unforgettable encounters with a celebrity? I know you mentioned James Brown, obviously, Bill Cosby, but
James
I know
Brown,
you met
Bill Cosby. But outside of hip hop, it would have to be Robert De Niro.
What was that like?
We were at, I can't remember the year, but I know that Obama was 2008, the first time, because I got that tattooed to my arm. But the year Bill Clinton won, MTV throws an inaugural ball for Bill Clinton in D.C. And we go to the ball, and standing there is Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese. Now, I am a huge fan of Martin Scorsese's work and Robert De Niro. So I wait. So, okay, I'm going to go over here and say something. I don't know what I'm going to say. I walk over, and I go, Mr. De Niro, Mr. Scorsese, I just want to tell y'all, I love your work. I'm a huge fan. And Robert De Niro goes, wait a minute. I know you. You're Dr. Love, right? He goes, Martin, this is Eddie Dre. This is Doc Love. I said, no, I'm Ed Lover. He goes, I got a kid. He watches your yo raps, the thing you do. He watches it all the time. I know you. In Vogue just finished performing. He goes, could you introduce me to In Vogue? Could you do that for me? Would you introduce me to In Vogue? Yeah. Now, everybody knows De Niro notoriously loves black women. His son that he was talking about is the Gregory Abbott that did Shake You Down. Girl, I Want It. It's his sister. Robert De Niro had a kid with her. The kid got to be 40 now. Wow. But that's the kid that he was talking about that was watching Yo every single day. And I went and got the person in charge of all the artists, and I took Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese backstage, and I introduced them to In Vogue.
You get all the cool points there.
Yeah, all the cool points, bro.
Man, has anybody rolled up on you, like, in a way where it was completely unexpected? That may have been a celebrity, and you were just out, and they're like, yo,
Denzel Washington, the first
Stop.
time.
What Denzel say?
First time. Mo Better Blues, after party. I'm in the party. I see Denzel. You know, he's the star of the movie.
Yeah.
So I see Denzel. I'm like, damn. Spike invited me. I'm like, yeah, it's Denzel Washington, man. And it was just so many people around him that I was like, I don't want to bother him. You know, I'm not the kind of person that bothers people. I want to tell people how much I enjoy their work and I'm a fan, and I fan out. But it was Denzel, man. And I'm like, I used to watch this dude on Carbon Copy. Like when he first started acting, I just knew he had it. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, damn, Denzel Washington. And I'm just standing there, and I go to the bar, and I get a drink. And he tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, "Hey, lover, you're taller than you look on TV, bro." I was like, oh, fucking my God. And we just had a great conversation, man. And we've been cool ever since, man.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, D is my guy.
Yeah. Is there a moment, say, behind the scenes from your MTV Raps with a celebrity guest that never made it to air?
No, everything made the air. Even if they had to edit it.
Yeah.
Well, Tupac said a lot more than he said when I had to cover his mouth up on your MTV Raps. So that kind of really, you know, going off on the Hughes brothers, we didn't air all of that.
Allen Hughes and
the Hughes brothers, yeah, but that's probably one of the things that they edited out. But pretty much everything else. Flavor Flav, we used to do this thing called Live Friday, and Public Enemy was performing. And Flavor Flav, there was a 5-0 said freeze, and I got numb. And Flavor jumped up in the air like he always did and froze, and crack fell out of his pocket. and so they cut that out because the camera went right to it.
Is this when everybody knew? Like,
yeah,
okay.
that Chuck cursed his ass out crazy after that. But
Right off camera.
off camera, yeah. That was probably one of them too.
Wow.
Yeah,
Man, I mean, these are iconic. You're in the room for a lot of different things.
yeah. Luckily, you know,
Yeah.
been blessed, man. I can't complain about being blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. Why do you think it's been like that for you? Like, these are some really rare moments
God,
that everybody...
man, that's the only thing I can attribute it to, y'all, is God has been looking out for me. I often wondered why, but you don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? So I just think, you know, my mom say it's because I've always stayed grounded. Like, I don't look at myself as different than anybody else. I just do a job. I enjoy my work. I love what I'm doing, and I'm just blessed.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny that you could say it like that because I heard the story about Mike Tyson giving you, a Rolls Royce?
Oh, gave me the Bentley?
A
Yeah.
Bentley. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you obviously rub elbows with some of the biggest names in
Hanging out with Mike Tyson is different, man.
What's that like?
Especially during that time. He's the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He don't give a fuck.
Top of the top.
Top of the food chain on everything. He don't care.
Yeah.
And he was just wild and hanging out when it was always so much fun. He always spent so much money.
Wow.
It was just, Mike was crazy, man. And hanging out with Mike was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Especially if he liked you.
Okay.
If he ain't like you, you wasn't going. But if he liked you, it was fun.
Yeah. So him giving you the Bentley, what was that like?
I was out one night. And I had no idea I was going to run into Mike Tyson. So I'm going to this club called Nell's. It's one of the hottest clubs in New York. But it really only, and I didn't notice that until years later when I saw a mini documentary on it. The place only holds 250 people. So there's always somebody outside letting people in. So this particular night I go in and it's just whack as fuck. And I'm like, I'm not staying here. I'm out. I'm walking out and Mike is walking in with his entourage. And Mike had a way of talking to you that I guess you had to accept it because it's Mike Tyson. So it's always, hey, what's up, nigga? What the fuck are you doing, bitch ass nigga? Where you go? I'm like, oh, here go Mike. I said, yo, man, I'm out. He was like, what's the matter? I said, this shit whack, Mike. Let's not go. He was like, fuck it, let's go somewhere else. I'm like, bet. Where you want to go? Me and him staying there. We talking, all his entourage is with him. And he goes, let's go to Queens. You from Queens, right? I'm like, yeah. He said, let's go to the Q Club where the Jamaican bitches be at. I'm like, bet. Let's go. Let me get my car. We get my car, I'm going to follow you. No, fuck your car. Get in the car with me. Now, if anybody knows, you don't want to ride with Mike Tyson. So I tried everything I could. Nah, I'm going to get my car. It's right there. Fuck your car. Get in the car. Bet. I get in the car. Whoever was riding, I can't remember who was in the front seat with him. He told him, get in somebody else's car. It's just me and Ed. We get on the highway. Mike is doing probably like 120 miles an hour, bro.
Were you scared?
He's blowing. I'm holding on. You know the thing on that little handle thing? Yeah. I'm holding on. He blowing lights. We get on the highway from Manhattan. We fly into Queens. We get in front of the Q Club. No valet parking. Just a parking lot across the street. We pull up like 10 cars deep. Mike jumps out the car. I get out the car. He tells the guy in the parking lot, park my shit. Park all this shit. Just park it, man. I got you. We get out. Now I'm looking. I said, it's dead winter. Now I'm dressed to go out. But it's Mike Tyson. Yeah. He ain't got dressed. He got on like what I assumed in my mind at that time was probably this dead winter, like a $60,000 mink coat with a hood on the back of it about this big, held on by a button, a Sergio Tacchini tracksuit, and felines. And I'm like, yo, I know the Q Club got a dress code. So I'm like, shit. But I'm thinking, it's Mike Tyson. Who ain't going to let Mike Tyson in the club? Get to the front door. The guy at the front door, I'm like, yo, I can't let him in, Ed. He ain't dressed right. I'm like, yo, it's the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. The fuck are you talking about? You got to let him in. I can't, Ed. You know, Ed, you from here. You know how we do. I said, man, it's Mike Tyson. I said, I know the owner. You want me to call the owner and tell him you didn't let Mike Tyson in? So the way the Q Club went, when you walk through the door, there's a couple of steps up, and then you had to turn that way and then that way to get in the club. But where you paid was right here. Mm-hmm. So the line is coming down the stairs. Me and Mike at the front door. Some chicks say, Mike Tyson, you need to learn how to dress when you come out. Why did she say that? Fuck you, bitch. I fuck this club. I'll buy this shit tomorrow. Ed, right? Pow. Hit me, Mike. Don't hit me. The shit hurt. Okay? I know you just fun punching, but that shit hurt. So all of a sudden, we making a commotion. Here comes the owner. Oh, Ed, what's up? I just pointed at Mike. Oh, he comes downstairs. Mike, you know, Ed, I got a strict dress code. I'll let y'all in, but I'm going to need y'all to go through the side door. How many people with you? About 15, 20. You know, Mike. Okay, we go through the side door. We get in the club. This before, like, bottle service and sections, but they had a section that was near the DJ. So they put us in that section near the DJ, and we standing there, and Mike goes, Ed, what we drinking? I'm like, I don't know, Mike, what you want? Like, I go to the bar, nah, fuck that. Tell the waitress to come over here. I need 15 bottles of Moet, whatever my people drinking, whatever. So once the DJ sees them, he turns the music off. The undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson is here. Jamaican star going crazy. Boom, 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 boom. And Ed Lover. Okay, that's fine. I'm the side celebrity to Mike Tyson, but he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. They come with the bottles. We just having a good time. I find me, oh my God, she was so beautiful. This Jamaican chick that I'm dancing with. I'm grinding. I'm on the wall. She's in between my legs. I'm dance hall out on her. Man, I look across the room. I see this. Hey, come here. He's sitting down. Hey, come here. I'm like, Mike, look, Nick, what the fuck is you talking about? Hey, come here. I walk over there, and the first thing I'm thinking about, I'm hard as a motherfucker. I ain't gonna hold no punches. I'm thinking about, Dick, please go down, because I don't want to get in front of Mike Tyson with a hard dick in front of his face. He punch me with my fucking jaw and break my shit. So I get over there, I'm like, Mike, what's up, man? You see, hey, go tell the DJ I got the bar until the club closed. Wow. I said, what the fuck is you talking about? Now I'm buying the bar out. I said, Mike, it's only 1 o'clock. This shit don't close till 4. Fuck that, I got it. I go tell the DJ. He turned the music down again. Mike Tyson bought the bar until the club closed. It was like a fucking avalanche off a mountain of people. And I'm talking about he's buying whatever the fuck they want. 4 o'clock come, we outside. I am fucked up. Mike is fucked up. Everybody's fucked up. I look at him, I said, Mike, man, all right, man, what we doing, man? You got to take me back to the city. I got to go get my car. Nah, I can't do that, Ed. I got shit to do tomorrow. I'm like, Mike, I rode with you. Have one of your boys or somebody take me back to get my car. Nah, I can't. I got shit to do tomorrow, man. I got press interviews. I got a lot of shit. I got a fight coming up. He said, don't your moms live out here? I said, yeah. He threw me the key. Take the car. I'm like, He was like, yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I see you. I'm like, I bet. So I get in his car. Now I'm fucking drunk. I'm driving to my mother's house, and I realize when I sit down that I'm fucked up. So I let all the windows down in the car, all 4 of the windows in this Bentley. And I drive it, I pull up in front of my mom's house, and I do the regular shit you do. I still got a room in the basement. I get out, let the windows up, I hit the alarm. Bloop, bloop. I walk to the front steps, and I look back and go, I cannot leave a Bentley parked in front of my mother's house in Queens.
Yeah.
If something happened to this shit, I'm liable for it. Then I remember that my father had tore the garage down. So I pull the car all the way into the backyard. Where the garage was, hit it, use my key on side door. I go downstairs. I lay down in the bed. My eyes get hot. The light comes on. Whose fucking Bentley did you steal? And I'm like, Ma, I ain't steal. That's Mike Tyson shit. I don't care if it's Diana Ross' car. You better tell him to come get that. I said, Ma. He just let me hold the car because I was drinking to come over here. Well, I'm trying to go to heaven. I don't want to be involved in no car theft. So I said, cool. About a couple of days go by. I don't hear from Mike. Mike got my pager number. I don't have a cell phone. None of us had a cell phone. I don't hear from him. A week go by. I don't know, already went back to the city and got my car. I was living in Jersey. The car's still there. Now I go back to the block, and my boys is gassing me up. Yeah, you got to start this shit. It's up, son. You just can't leave the shit. The motor sees up. So now I'm starting it, and I'm just sitting there. Leave it. 2 weeks go by. I still got the car. 3 weeks go by. Nobody has come to get this car. Now I take the car out of the driveway, and I'm rolling around the neighborhood like the shit is mine. Oh, shit, hey, got a Bentley. Month go by. I still have this car. One day my pager goes off, 911, 911, 911, 911. I find me a payphone. I call the number back. Hey, is this Ed Love? I say, yeah. He said, this is John Horn, man. I said, John, I know who you are. You Mike Tyson's manager. Yeah, he goes, by any chance, do you happen to have one of Mike's cars? I said, yeah, I got the Bentleys. You know, it's at my mom's house. Well, give me the address. I'm going to have somebody come pick it up. Ain't my car. I don't give a fuck. Give them the address. They come get the car. 15 years later, I'm in Vegas. I'm at Tao. And I look at the bar, and there's Mike Tyson standing there by himself. I said, there go my man. So I go over, Mike, what's up? Hey, what's up, you fucking piece of shit? Fuck is the deal? Mike, I'm good, man. How you doing? Now, people are walking by. Hey, champ. Oh, shit, Ed Lover. Hey, champ. Again, I'm secondary to Mike, but it's fine. Hey, champ, how you doing? Mike goes, Ed, man, I can't believe people still call me champ, man. I ain't been champ in like almost 15 years. They still call me champ. So I don't understand that. I said, Mike, let me explain something to you. When it comes to heavyweight champions of the world, you are us. You come from nothing, bro. And you made something out of yourself. That's why people still love you to this day. So he goes on, remember the time, man, we used to go out and hang out and have a good time? I said, yeah, man, we had some times, Mike. We did. Yeah, man, he said, remember that time we went to that Jamaican joint? Man, we got fucked up. I was like, yeah. He said, you remember that night I gave you that Bentley? I said, yeah. He said, you know I gave you that car, right? I said, what? I said, yeah, I gave it to you. You never asked me for shit. I want you to have something nice. I said, why the fuck didn't you tell me then that you gave me the car? Man, I was getting high, Ed. I used to give everybody cars. He said, John and them came and got it, right? I said, yeah, John and them came and got it. He said, yeah, they was jealous. I said, Mike, if I ever see John and them again, them motherfuckers owe me $450,000 fucking dollars. And that's how I got a Bentley from Mike Tyson. I ain't know that he gave to me.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. You clearly have you made a real impression, and you developed some real strong friendships.
Yeah, absolutely.
What type of friendships outside of, say, the traditional hip hop, the industry, were you able to cultivate that were just so unique?
All of the record reps for different record labels, like my manager Dan. I met Dan standing in front of the radio station trying to hawk a record on me. I have never been an industry dude. I've always been more in the streets dude. My friends that I've always had for 25, 30 years, I've known Dan for for probably 25 plus, those are the same friends that I have now. I don't count on record people or industry people to be my friends. My closest friend, Todd Warren, God rest his soul, was like a little brother to me. And Heavy was probably my closest friend in hip hop.
Heavy D.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it like when you found out he had passed?
Oh man, that killed me, bro. Because no matter where we are, even if we haven't talked for 2 years, 3 years, we will always find each other. And he would always call me and curse me out, because we were cool. We was cool like that.
Yeah.
So Hev passing was major. And Pac, me and Pac were close too.
Wow.
Yeah, through my friend Stretch though, through my boy Stretch, because him and Stretch were closer than me and Pac were.
It's funny. I've heard Stretch's name come up as it relates more recently.
Yeah.
Just some of the things with Pac.
It hurt me that they didn't put a character of Stretch in the Tupac
film.
movie. Yeah, because they were together all the time, bro. They toured together. Stretch produced for Pac. When Pac was in New York, he was with us. And the way that they skipped over the New York part of his life in that film and made it look like it was all Suge and him. And this is what I tell people all the time. They don't understand. After Suge got him out of jail, he didn't live a whole year. It wasn't a whole year before he was gone, bro.
Wow.
Not a whole entire year. So all the time before that with Digital Underground, because we knew Shock G, because Shock and my man that I used to be in a band with when I was kids were cousins. So we knew Shock and we knew Pac. I knew Pac when he was a roadie for Digital Underground. So when he got on and he was coming to New York a lot, he was always with us. If I was home, Stretch would call me and go, yo, Pac just landed. We go to JFK and pick him up. I'd be like, swing by my crib, and we go get him. And then the first thing he would always want to do is, yo, let's call Big and see what they doing in Brooklyn. And let's go fuck with Big. So that triangle there of friendship was always there. Stretch got killed in 95. Pac got killed in 96. Big got killed in 97.
Damn. What do people not really know about Tupac?
He was young, man. He was young, and he was scared, and he was confused. And I think people don't know that about Pac because they don't realize that when you're 24 and 25, you're going to say things. Pac was torn. He was a torn soul. He was torn because he grew up as a black nationalist. He grew up a Black Panther. His father was a Black Panther. His mother was a Black Panther. But then once he got into the hip-hop business, he had to make some money. So the message is, if you listen to his music, there was a message over here, and then there was the flamboyant, popping off, love these bitches type of pop. But then he did both. So he was always torn between which route he wanted to go. And I always feel like if he was alive today, he would have definitely been on the forefront of the Black Lives Matter movement. And he would have been giving people hell right now, bro. And I know for a fact, and I feel this in my heart and soul, that he would have been the absolute first rapper to win an Academy Award because he was that gifted as an actor. He was supremely gifted, bro. Like, for real. Pac he's a comet, man. One of a kind. There ain't gonna never be another one.
What do you think people missed about him and Big's relationship?
The fact that they loved each other, man. And the fact that it was a huge misunderstanding that should have never happened. But Pac was the kind of guy that if he said something, even if he found out it was wrong later, he wasn't gonna take it back. And I think really Suge put that battery in his back, man.
Do you think going out to the West Coast changed?
Suge, it was Suge. Suge. When I tell you these dudes was friends, I mean that. They was tight, bro. Rhyme together, being ciphers together. Like, if you ever heard that, where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? They had came, Big Daddy Kane was performing and called them on stage. They were together that night. It was never no beef, man. Yeah.
That's classic.
They was always together, bro. And I think it hurt Big to his core that shit happened. But how do you remedy that once it gets out of control? And it was out of control.
The people around them?
Yeah. And the press.
Yeah.
It was weird for me because I was cool with everybody and I stayed neutral. Pac and I were Stretch's daughter, Monisha's godparents. And when Stretch got killed in 95, Pac didn't come to the funeral. And, man, I cursed his ass out so bad about that, man.
Do you think, I've heard him mention Stretch in records, right, or on a record.
Yeah.
But it seemed like there was something there, because I believe Stretch kind of warned him about the Quad Studio shooting.
Absolutely. He was with him.
He was with him. He was
They
with him.
laid him down. He was with him. He was right there with him. So that's like, a sadder part of my life, man, because I would have loved to see this guy develop into what he could have been. I saw him. I was in the MGM Grand when they came through. He stopped and we talked.
Before he got shot.
Yeah, before he went back and changed clothes.
So
yeah.
you were at that fight as well.
Yeah, I was at the fight, but I was with the pimps after the fight in the Betty Booth. Don Bishop, Magic One, all of us was right there when they came through, and he stopped and he hollered at me. And he was like, "Yo, what's good?" I was like, "What's good, bro? You good?" He was like, "Yeah." I see all that commotion. Y'all all right? And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good." He was like, I'm gonna go change and we're going to Suge's Club. Come through. And I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm coming through. In my mind, I'm like, I ain't going to that motherfucker. This West Coast shit. I'm an East Coast nigga. These niggas get drunk and just start to stomp me out. We got war then. I was like, nah. In my mind, I didn't tell him I wasn't coming. And the last thing I said is, I love you, right, boy? He was like, yeah, I love you too, man. Peace. And that's the last time I saw him alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those news reports.
Big too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting next to Big when the lights came on in Peterson Automotive Museum. I just posted a picture on my Instagram of me, Jermaine Dupri, Stevie J, Gene Deal, Ian Alexander, and Puff. And that picture was taken, it was a Polaroid picture. Because you remember when the cameraman used to come through? Cell phone fucked the cameraman whole career up, right? That's another thing altogether. Yeah. Cameraman come through, yo! And we took the picture.
Yeah.
And it was a Polaroid that I still have. And the lights came on. There's a funny story about that night, too, because Big had messed his leg up in a car accident. So he sat there all night, and he had the cane, right? So he calls me over. Hey, what's up? He always called me Edwin. That was our thing, Edwin and Christopher. Never called him Big. He never called me Ed Love. It was always Edwin. Edwin, come here. He said, take this bottle of Don P, man. Drink this shit down to the halfway mark. I'm like, by myself? I can't. Well, I don't give a fuck. Give it to some bitches or something. Just bring it back at the halfway point. So I'm around the party, and the Jerry Maguire movie was out, so we all yelling, show me the money. We was loose. And not really thinking about no West Coast, East Coast beef, because the guy that threw the party was an East Coast dude. We just all over the party. But I did notice some West Coast cats in there mean mugging. But fuck them. We in this bitch. And I'm giving everybody some Don P. I'm drinking it. I'm looking at it. Hey, take some more. I get it to the halfway point. I bring it back to Big. He reaches down by his leg, takes a bottle of Grand Marnier, fills it up, and gives it back to me. I'm like, I'm going to be fucked up. Yeah. So when the lights come on, I get up, and I'm like, yo, what y'all doing? And he was like, yo, we going to Steve Stout and Nas having a party in the Hollywood Hills. You coming? I'm like, definitely. He's like, you want to ride with us? I was like, nah, I got a Corvette. I was feeling myself. I always rented a Corvette when I got to L.A. Yeah. And that's probably why I wasn't in the truck with him. I had my own car.
What did you think about when you heard that it happened?
Disgusting. I was at the party, and my phone, the pager goes off 911, and I called back the number. I can't even remember who was on the phone. And they said, yo, Big got shot. We had Cedar Sinai. And we go down there, and we're where the ambulance rolls in at, in the back part. And Leote Blacknor, love Leote. She was Puff's executive assistant. Puff was calling her, I need you. Police at the door, they won't let nobody in. So we don't know what's going on with Big. We know he got shot. We know he got rushed into surgery. We don't know none of the details. And Leote, I'm talking to the police, and I catch a black cop that recognized me, and I'm telling him it's Puff's assistant. Puff is calling her. She needs to go in, and he lets Leote in. So it's kind of quiet, but there's well over 200 people out there, and we're all wondering. There's prayer circles going on. We're praying for Big, and we see C's. We see C's come out, and he kicks a garbage can. He starts screaming, and we all knew that Big was gone.
Wow.
We knew it, man. And then now you're from the East Coast. You go back to your hotel, and you're trying to find how the fuck I'm getting off the West Coast. So now everybody's calling the airlines, and you can't just leave. So I have 2 more days there, and I'm there. I end up in Foxy Brown's room. She's on the phone with Jay, and Jay is not believing that Big is dead, so she hands me the phone. Tell him, Ed. And Jay is like, Playboy. I say, yo, Hov, he gone, man. And he dropped the phone. Now, at that time, Foxy's dating Corrupt. So Corrupt was, excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. Corrupt was in the hotel. And I'm like, where's Corrupt? So Corrupt don't even know where this came from. Because nobody told Corrupt we killing Biggie tonight. If it was a West Coast thing that we found out later on it was. But nobody told Corrupt. So Corrupt is in this hotel room hiding because he's scared that we going to beat him, you know, not us, not me, but anybody that's associated with Big is going to fuck him up because he's in the dog pound. And it was weird, man. And then you wake up the next day, and I remember a young lady I have a lot of respect for by the name of Poetess. She's on the radio, and she's taking calls, and she's from the West Coast, and she's very, we lost Pac, now we lost Big. This kind of violence got to stop. I'm going to take some calls so somebody can say something about Big. And the nastiness that came over that radio, I will never forget it. He shouldn't have been here. F him. Yeah.
People.
Yeah,
callers.
He had something to do with Pac being killed. It was nasty, bro.
Wow.
And we don't realize that we lost 2 of the most important hip-hop artists of all time.
Yeah. What was the energy like being in L.A. at that moment?
My mom's was like, I don't care if you got to take the train. Get out of there. And then you heard that Puff was already gone. So we like, yo, we got to get out of here. I remember when my flight was actually going back to New York, and my car came to pick me up, bro. I laid down in the back of the Escalade or whatever it was, a Suburban. I laid down because I didn't want anybody to see that I was in the car because it was that thick. You don't know. Yeah. You know, you blinded. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't even know. They put police in front of our hotel for the next 2 days because you don't know if they're going to come and shoot the hotel up. You ordering room service. You're scared to go outside. You're on their turf. Yeah. And you don't know where this came from.
Yeah. When you think about the gang conflict then, and then it making its way to New York, what does that look like?
I still don't understand it, man. I really don't, because that was always their thing. You know, their thing has been going on for a long time. Crips and Bloods, Bloods against Bloods, Crips against Crips, Set against Set. And it really kind of started at Rikers Island, and then it just kind of spilled out. Because the Latinos were teamed up. You know what I mean? So I guess black people on the island felt they had to team up, and there was one Crip, a Blood, that had did something, and he was in Rikers Island. He formed the Blood Nation in Rikers Island, then it spilled over into the streets.
So that's how it came together.
Yeah, the Latin Kings was ruling Rikers Island. So I guess in order for cats to feel safe, you know, it's blood in, blood out.
It's interesting that became a thing present day.
Yeah. It was disgusting to me because the only gangs I knew was drug gangs. Yeah. You know, it's always about, this is my turf, you can't come over here and sell, you owe me money, I fronted you a brick, you ain't pay me, but it wasn't colors. Yeah. It wasn't just blind, I'm a Blood, you a Crip, I don't know you, but we got problems. It was never that. It was always about getting money. And if something happened, it was always behind getting money. This it ain't got nothing to do with money.
Yeah. It was just interesting to hear Jay speak on it in rhyme. When he spoke, you know, I can't remember the song, but just hearing him acknowledge where gang culture was in New York City was like, wow. Yeah. This is saying a lot.
We had it in the 70s. Yeah. We had a gang culture. We had 7 Crowns, 7 Immortals, Savage Skulls, you know, even with Bambaataa and them, they were a gang, and they took it and put it into the music and stopped all of it.
Yeah.
But then to see it come again to fruition in the late, you know, 2018, 17, all the way up to now, it's like,
Yeah.
that wasn't us. That's the West Coast thing.
How's it on the West Coast for you now?
I'm an OG, man. So I know all the shot callers. So I'm pretty much cool wherever I go on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Because when I used to live there, all the shot callers took me around. It was like,
Hey, you lived there for a time?
yeah, I lived there for a while.
Wow.
Yeah. When I left Hot 97, I went to work on the radio, 92.3 to beat in L.A. So I knew I was introduced from Mike Conception, who was one of the original Crips. And then, you know, with what the late, great Jim Brown was doing, a lot of those blood shot callers took me around. It was like, this Ed's untouchable. Don't touch him. He good.
Yeah. Those phone calls go a long way.
Go a hell of a long way, bro.
Yeah. Speaking of Big Pac and just, you know, the collaboration you speaking to, you know, that's an iconic moment that where Brooklyn's at, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of collaborations in hip hop, obviously. Have there been any that you knew of that were supposed to happen but never did?
Gee, like I told you earlier, Rakim and Dr. Dre, that didn't happen. You know, Method Man and Redman was kind of by mistake, but it did happen. Lil Kim and Foxy was supposed to happen.
Lil Kim and Foxy.
Yeah. Thelma and Louise was supposed to be an album. And it never happened.
Why do you think that didn't happen?
Because friction between them two.
The two of them.
Both of them, you know, at that time, you're just trying to be the best. And you don't want to look like, you know, Foxy was with Nas and that crew over there with Jay penning probably like 5 records. Then you had Kim that was with Big and Junior Mafia. And I guess at that time, it was like, well, I sold this many. I don't need to fuck with her. I ain't doing nothing with her. And from what I heard, they're supposed to be getting $1 million a piece non-recoupable just to do the album. And I think at some point they probably regret that they didn't do that album.
Yeah.
And if Big would have lived, that Commission album would have been crazy. Right? Him, Jay, that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You know, they did a couple of songs together.
Yeah.
But Jay and Big, along with C's and Charlie Baltimore, that was the Commission. They were supposed to do some stuff.
Yeah. It's funny that, you know, obviously you've seen these different eras.
Pac and Breed was going to do an EP together. That didn't happen. Live Squad, which was Stretch, his group that I had signed to Tommy Boy. I was executive producer on that. They were supposed to sign to Pac's label. Pac had Thug Life Records coming through Jimmy Iovine and the Interscope. And he had finished all the music that came out later. He didn't owe Death Row any more albums. He was going on to do Thug Life Records. That's why Jimmy Iovine is so fucking smart, bro. When Dre left, he gave Dre Aftermath, right? And Pac was leaving, and Pac was supposed to have Thug Life Records, and he's going to sign Live Squad.
That's interesting, though. Because, I mean, you speak a lot about what it was with Suge. I remember going to the 07 BET Awards, and Suge showed up, and the fire marshal was at, like, above Man's Chinese Theater.
Yeah.
He cleared it out.
Yeah.
When he got in, he wasn't supposed to be able to get in because nobody was, right? The fire marshal came. But he got in. Bro, they was packing up.
Yeah.
And they got up out of there. Do you think...
I like Suge, man.
Really?
I've always had a
what
good
kind of person?
relationship.
Yeah.
I had a good relationship with Suge. I always had a good relationship with Suge. I had no problems with Suge.
Where do you think he and Puff, they used to be cool?
Yeah, I don't know where that started, man. I think when his guy got killed.
Oh, in Atlanta here.
Yeah, in Atlanta, and it was allegedly Puff's dude that did it, and that's when I think it went sour right there. Because Suge's loyal if he ain't nothing else. You know, and I remember being with Suge when I lived in L.A. He had like a Labor Day party on his boat, and I was on the boat with him, and we just sitting there drinking and just chilling, and a young lady that I knew at the time had invited me, and I came. He looked at me and said, "You know why I always fuck with you, Ed?" I said, "No, Suge, why did you always fuck with me?" He said, "Because you're a man's man." He said, "I remember when Stretch died at the MTV after party, and you stepped the Pac by yourself and you cursed them out in front of all of us, and you knew we was there, you knew that we could have beat the shit out of you, but you stepped up like a man. And I was like, well, that's all I know how to be, is a man, Suge. And he's like, I always respected you for that shit. He said, even when they wanted to move on you, I was like, nah, let the man say what he got to say. It's because I came as a man. So I never had no problems with Suge.
Yeah.
Me and Suge always been cool.
Wow. Have you heard his collect call?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, Suge is something else, man. Suge gonna say what Suge want to say.
Yeah.
He gonna say what he believes, you know? So I never had a problem with Suge.
Wow. Let's switch gears, get into the truth and taste segment.
New York got the best pizza. Okay, my Chicago people, you know I love you. But
agree.
every time they do a contest, New York comes in number one on pizza. Chicago, you're close too, but your pizza is different than ours. We don't eat a lot of deep dish. Yeah. We like greasy slices of pizza.
Thin crust.
I figured it out because when I lived in Chicago. For Chicago, it's the meat, the cheese, and all that. For New York, it's the sauce. If the sauce ain't good, we're not going to have it. So I got to have that, and I got to have Jamaican food. I got to. I have yet to find a place in Atlanta with Jamaican food as good as Jamaican food in New York. It's just, I don't think a lot of Jamaicans migrated down here the way they did in Brooklyn, right?
You gotta
So
get
I gotta have some Jamaican food.
Okay.
I gotta have a chopped cheese sandwich. You know, when I get off, I gotta go to the deli, eat bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll. You know, you gotta have that quintessential standard of New York City whenever I go home. I have to. I gotta have it.
Gotta have it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got something that you gotta have. I'll let you take the top off of this, Ed.
Okay.
Because you said Caribbean food, Jamaican food.
Absolutely. Oh, Lord.
Now we got some West African food.
Okay.
All right, so we got a little fufu there for you. We have some spinach here with, it's got turkey in it and beef. We've got some beef suya, and then we got jollof rice. You ever had jollof rice?
Now, jollof rice is absolutely one of my favorites.
Is
bro.
it?
Yeah, it's so delicious, bro.
Where's the first time you had that?
People don't know how, huh?
Where the first time you had that?
From this Ethiopian chick I used to mess with.
Okay.
So, everybody don't know how to make it either.
Yeah.
So it's important to be authentic with it. You know, it's one thing about food with me. The people that make it should be from where the food is from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the Chinese restaurants. No disrespect, but I don't want to see no Mexican people giving me Chinese food. I want Chinese food from Chinese people.
Yeah.
I want Japanese food from Japanese people. I want Jamaicans working in a Jamaican restaurant.
Yeah.
And you know how slow they are, but still, that's what I want. That's what I want.
Customer service at the Jamaican restaurant.
Yeah, when we go to the Italian joint, I want to get my food from Italians. Now, every time I go home, I'm going to tell you this because I had this argument with Dan, my manager, Dan from the Bronx. I used to argue with him that the best beef patties in the world were in Queens. Dan told me, no, they're not. There's this place called, what's it called, Dan? Kingston Bakery?
Yep.
Where at?
226th Street in the Bronx.
226 in the Bronx. I couldn't argue till he took me there. Hands down, the best beef patties I have ever had in my entire.
They
better
making them
than
from
Jamaica.
scratch? What are they
They
making
a
them?
bakery, so they make everything from scratch. Everything else that you probably eat, they probably took some frozen beef patty and reheated it. These beef patties, bro, will change your. Lord have mercy.
In the Bronx?
In the Bronx.
Okay.
Kingston Bakery.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kingston Bakery.
Yeah.
Oh my, the cocoa bread, bro.
There's a bakery in Atlanta.
They got a meatloaf patty that is just ridiculously good.
Yeah, that's dope. I think it was Royal Caribbean. Well, I know that's a cruise line, but there's a bakery in Atlanta on Memorial Drive. That's excellent as well. But,
right.
and we want you to go ahead and sample this.
All right, let's go.
Shout out to Le Nouveau, Marquis. Shout out to Fabiola for
See,
putting
somebody
this
named
together.
Fabiola you already know you can cook.
Yeah.
That's a cooking name, Fabiola. If you can't cook and your name Fabiola, you don't need to be nowhere near nobody's kitchen at all. Okay, so
Family of the show. So I mean, fufu.
Okay, what's this?
That's the spinach. So you can
Spinach.
eat, spinach.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
This
You
is
got the
unlike
beef, turkey.
any kind of spinach I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, try that.
This looks delicious, though. Okay. Oh my God. That is spinach. That's good.
You like that?
It got a little kick to it. I like kick. I like spice. I like spice.
Yeah.
And it's turkey?
Got the turkey.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good right there. Excuse me, y'all.
We can make sure, you know what I'm saying?
I be munching. I don't even care. I be munching. It's good.
Make sure you got it.
Got a little
kick.
Over there right there, boy.
Yeah.
But that's good.
A little spice to it.
See,
man.
you know when food is really good? When you don't know how they make it, but it's just good.
Yeah.
You don't always need to know everything.
We like to break bread with our friends here on the Culture Club.
That's good. So this is jollof rice.
Jollof rice.
Yeah, I can tell. See, this already got. Oh Lord, have mercy.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, wait a minute.
Shout out Fabiola.
Is this somebody's restaurant?
Yeah.
Where is that?
I'll put you on Memorial
Put
Drive.
me on. I'm going over here. This is good.
Yeah. She does.
See, this jollof rice. Y'all play with me too much. Y'all ain't give me enough of this. Y'all gave me a bucket.
We got you, Ed.
Hey, a bucket.
We got you. We got you.
I'm telling my wife, I'm bringing some of this, baby.
We known for
Let
breaking bread.
Let me tell you how I know I get everything I want. When I eat some good food like this, Fabiola, I always go home and tell my wife that I ate it, and then I tell her she don't know how to make it, and then she'll try and make it. That's how I go. Now, what we having here?
That's beef suya.
Yeah. Damn, that's tasty.
The seasonings, man.
Yeah.
The seasoning.
That is tasty. Wow.
Welcome home, Ed.
Yeah. You're back to Mother Africa, right?
Yeah. One time for the one
Oh,
time.
this is good. This is good. Dan ain't gonna eat this because Dan don't eat nothing but chicken wings and burgers. But I'll eat it for him.
Why not, man?
Oh, this is good.
It's funny, man,
Is there something in particular like I'm supposed to be drinking with this? Like, what do you drink with this?
palm wine.
Palm wine.
Palm wine.
I never had palm. Yes, I did. I had palm wine before. Yeah.
Palm wine is usually good with a little Guinness in it.
Together?
Yeah. Palm wine and Guinness together is special.
Sound like a good night at home, right?
A great night.
Yeah, I know.
A great night.
What I got right here?
That's the fufu. Now you can eat that typically with soup or Is
it like a bread?
It's like pounded yam, but you usually have it with the soup or with the spinach, something like that.
I can see
like
that.
the
Yeah, I can see how that go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that?
That's the combo.
Oh man, we're gonna make sure you
take that
home with you.
Spinach and fufu. Yeah, that go together right there.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, man.
Well, that's delicious.
You haven't made it to the continent? Have you been there?
No, not yet.
Wow.
I've been dying to go, bro.
Yeah.
And I know when I go, it's going to be so emotional for me, man. It's going to be like, I know that I'm going to cry for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Because that's our beginning. That's where we come from. I'm only, see, I like this. So y'all can see I'm eating and talking. I'm only my mother, my grandfather. My grandfather's parents were slaves. I'm only 2 generations removed from slavery.
What state did they migrate
North
from?
Carolina.
Carolinas.
Where they was taken to, the Carolinas. And, you feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different.
I'm going to stop eating until we get back to the interview, but that's good. Thank you, Fabiola. Everybody else who had a hand in that. Oh, my God. Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm sweating. It's good.
A little extra kick.
Yeah, I got a kick. I kung fu right there, man. That's Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Y'all should call that this Wu-Tang, because it got a kick to it. That's good.
Fabiola, we appreciate you, man.
That's we do. Lord,
Move on my key, man. They
if
get it in.
Fabiola's single, somebody need to marry her. Lord, that's good. Man, that's good.
No doubt, brother. We
I ain't even
appreciate
capping
you.
either. I would tell you if it was horrible. This is delicious.
Yeah, that's good. I know
I've
you're
never
a
had
foodie.
spinach like that before.
Come on, son.
It didn't even look like spinach.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. And that beef, what you call it, beef?
It's beef and then turkey as well.
I'm talking about the
suya. The beef suya. Beef
yeah.
suya.
No, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. I got a little steak flavor to it, Dan.
Yeah.
You might eat that.
Shout out to Dan, man. You know, and speaking of the continent, man, this was a question that we were thinking about as it relates to some things Dr. Umar said, right? Dr. Umar, he had some comments about Eminem saying no non-African.
Me and Dr. Umar got into it a little bit.
Come on, man.
I respect the hell out of Dr. Umar.
What's up with Umar, man?
But my perspective was not, I got attacked for that too, by the way, from everybody that loves Dr. Umar, right? Oh, there go another nigga taking up for the white man. That's not what I was doing. I was taking up for hip-hop because when we started hip-hop, we didn't close the door on hip-hop for hip-hop not to be for everybody. Yo MTV Raps was created so hip-hop would spread around the world. This is what people don't get about Yo MTV Raps. And I tell this to Tigger, as much as I love Tigger. I tell Tigger all the time, Rap City came after us, and y'all were national. We were an international show. We were on in almost every country in this world. I have Nigerians, Jamaicans, Japanese, and Chinese people that I meet that tell me they learned to speak English because of Yo MTV Raps. We wanted to spread the gospel of hip-hop for everybody. So anyone that loves hip-hop, that studies the craft, that take hip-hop, I don't care what color you are. You can be one of the best, no matter what your color is. Yeah. Suppose somebody said that to us. Suppose somebody said, because Dr. Naismith invented basketball and he was a white man in Canada, that no black man can ever be the best in basketball. I didn't agree with him on that, respectfully.
Yeah, no, that's real. I mean, hip-hop is global.
I said
now.
some shit, though, before I did my research. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what kind of fucking doctor is you anyway, Umar? Then I did my research and found out he's a real doctor. But I have the ultimate respect for Dr. Umar. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about it. I just don't agree with that.
Yeah. You know, you made mention of the French artist that wasn't a great interview in hip-hop, but now it's global, right? So now hip-hop is all over the world.
Right.
No matter where you are, it's the music of the oppressed.
Suppose we did that for any other nationality. Suppose we said, Pun can't be dope because he Puerto Rican. Or Joe can't be dope. Or Remy can't be dope because she's a female. You know what I mean? I understand us needing to control our music. I dig that. But I'm not going to hold being white against Eminem.
Yeah. Have you met Eminem?
I know Eminem very well.
What's he like?
He cool dude, man. Yeah, Eminem's cool. And he loves hip-hop, like, for real. Like, this ain't Vanilla Ice, bro.
Yeah.
And, you know, Vanilla came through and sold like 10 million albums of that Cool as Ice record. Emmett's for real, bro. He was in the ciphers in Detroit. Anybody that know him will tell you, he went to where hip-hop was and where...
Battle tested.
He's nice. You gonna take that away from him?
Yeah. Yeah. You've been to a ton of concerts.
Yeah.
Living or dead, who's been the best concert?
Living or dead? Okay, where we going? We going hip hop?
Any concert.
One of the best I've ever seen. I hate that it just got ruined. The first night at Madison Square Garden, the Best of Both Worlds concert with Jay-Z. And when they first came out, before R. Kelly pulled that bullshit about somebody having a gun. But them coming out, R&B old school, Rick James. I saw as a kid when his street songs was popping. Earth, Wind, and Fire with the pyramids and levitating Verdine White on the top of the bass. I've seen that. So that was pretty damn incredible. DMX was incredible, bro.
Yeah.
No
I've
hype
seen him
man.
live. Yeah.
Him and Swiss Beats. Just the energy. Everything.
That prayer.
Yeah. Yeah, you heard what Jay said about him, right? And it was the truth.
What'd he say?
He say when he first started, he'd be, and he had everybody going crazy.
Yeah.
He just come
on
through,
stage.
1, 2, come in with the 1, 2, and they going crazy. Then in the middle of the show, he take his shirt off. Now all the chicks are going crazy. And then at the end of the show, he praying, so everybody in the whole arena is crazy. And he walk off the stage and look at Jay-Z and go, "Okay, now it's your turn." You know what I mean? So Jay was like, "Yo, I had to rob my ass off on that tour." And X was it's so many people that I've been blessed to see in my lifetime. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of my favorite people that I have ever seen. I've seen the Police at the height of them. I've seen Aerosmith rock out crazy. So it's just a lot, man. A lot of my favorites.
Anybody you consider the GOAT in hip hop?
I definitely consider, if I'm going to say, if you count longevity, records, voice, and impact, today, only because he's still here, Jay-Z.
It's interesting seeing his growth, right?
Yeah.
Watching him grow his dreads.
Yeah.
Lots
Watching him just grow as a man.
Right.
Oh, and one more concert I saw, and I was very young. The Commodores played Madison Square Garden. Bob Marley and the Wailers opened for the Commodores. Half the audience was gone when Bob was finished. When Bob finished, I looked around and said, where everybody go?
They left.
All the Jamaicans are, Bob McLeod, we gone. I was like, oh, shit, they didn't give a fuck about
They came,
Richie. They didn't give a fuck.
They came for Bob.
Yeah, Bob was incredible, man.
You seen the One Love movie?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great, too.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it because I've been on Hope Road with the Marley family. You know, I've hung out.
What was that like?
Go to sleep early because they smoke too much goddamn weed. Lord! Well, you know, weed is it's religious.
Yeah.
We smoke before breakfast. Then they smoke it while we eat breakfast. I'm high. Then we smoke after breakfast. Then they want to go out and play soccer, and they smoking while they playing soccer. Then we smoke before lunch. By the time dinner came, I was in the bed already. And then they called the elders. A lot of them Rostas that knew their dad came, and they got that circle thing, and they had me sit down in a circle, and they started doing their Rastafarian chants and talk, and then the chalice. Oh, bro.
The chalice.
It's over. And they drinking Red Stripe all day, and the rum is coming around, bro. I couldn't take it, bro.
Spiritual? You
Spiritual like crazy. I started crying that time, too. But I was in the bed by 7:30, bro. They're like, hey, come on, man. I'm like, all right, I'm high, bro. I can't. I'm seeing double right now. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
I know you and Bernie Mac were close, man.
My guy.
Yeah. That's
he
deep.
was in, he was in Who's the Man with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Who's the Man. And this is before he became who he ultimately
But he never changed. After the Kings of Comedy, Bernie never changed, bro.
Wow.
Bernie didn't let Hollywood or success or anything go to his head. He was always the Mac man.
I heard he still lived in Chicago.
Yeah, bro. Bernie he's an original, man.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of cats scared to go after him on the stage.
Yeah, massive. I mean, I know he kind of alluded, or I've heard you kind of allude to what happened between him and Steve.
Well, that's what all I can say is what Bernie told me. And he was upset with Steve because he said Steve tried to get him taken off for the Oceans movie he did.
Oceans 11?
Yeah, and tried to vie for his part after he already got hired.
Wow.
And Bernie never lied to me. That's all I'm going to say. Wow. He was my friend. I loved him, man. I love B-Mac, bro.
All right, man. Yeah, you've given us a whole lot. A lot of insights, a lot of perspective. I got to ask you currently what's happening in hip-hop. Clearly, Diddy is going through it.
Yeah, I feel bad for him, man. I've known Sean for a very long time, bro.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? I mean,
I
just
think
seeing everything.
I think when a can of worms open up, a lot of people try to jump on the bandwagon. You know, I can only go by how somebody treats me. And me and Puff always been cool. You know what I mean? Always. Even in business and personal and everything. We always been cool. I don't have nothing bad to say about Puff. I would never say anything bad about Puff. Our mothers were friends. Me and him are friends. Puff just going through it right now, man. I wish him all the best. But if some of the stuff is true, then I have to feel bad for the people that went through it too. And I hope that they get the help that they need, because that's a really terrible accusation to have against you if it's not true. And it's a terrible thing for you to do to a woman if it is true.
Yeah.
I'm a girl dad. Yeah. You know, I got 4 daughters. You know, and I watched the same thing happen with one of our greatest R&B artists of all time, R. Kelly. You know, I don't know what kind of position I would have been in had that been my child. I probably wouldn't even be interviewing you right now. I'd probably be getting interviewed. I'd probably be sitting in a prison cell somewhere for killing them. You know, so it's anybody that has power that does something like that is wrong. And my dad used to always say, you can tell a person's real personality when they give you some power. And I can't say that Puff is guilty. I can't say Puff is not, but he's always been a good guy to me. So that's what I go by.
Yeah. You've noticed power really changed a lot of people in this industry.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
the lights hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anything you ever experienced with people? I mean, even if you can't.
I had some people who shall remain nameless come to me on some slick talking shit, and I had to let them know I ain't having it because they was in a low position of power. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so that goes along with the territory, but people don't. You know, they don't get it sometimes that. You know, we understand you have more responsibility, but it should not change who you are as a person.
Yeah. What hidden talents does Ed Lover have?
I used to be a trumpet player for a long time in a top 40 band.
Top 40?
When I was a kid. I could bowl. I got a couple of 300s under my belt.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite things. I'm just learning now to play golf. Shout out to the Silver Golfers Association. I just joined that. I'm a pretty damn good actor. I like to think so.
Yeah.
I'm still taking acting lessons, and you know the Ed Lover mixtape band is out and about Atlanta right now.
Okay.
You know, it was Dan again, my manager Dan Small's idea, because every time I used to go somewhere, they used to always ask me to get on the mic when there was a band. So I started doing that. Dan was like, "We need to get your own band, put it together. You do all the rhymes. We'll grab some singers and some artists." So that's been going pretty good too.
Nice.
So yeah.
Man, speaking of bands, real quick, go-go music.
Love it. Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers.
Yes,
I heard that
sir.
today. I Feel Like Busted Loose. Yeah, Junkyard Band, all of them.
Yeah.
EU,
Yeah.
all of them. You
Shout
know,
out
big
to
up to
DC,
Curtis
Maryland,
Blow for
B.
being the first hip-hop artist to mix the go-go in the hip-hop
Hip-hop.
when he did If I Rule the World. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then Salt and Pepper did It's Your Thing with EU. All of them, man.
Absolutely.
All of them. I
Shout
love
out
that.
DC,
that's
Maryland, VA.
Yeah. I like that that's DC's music, that
Absolutely.
they got their own thing. I love that.
Yeah, man. Look, Ed, thank you.
Thank you,
so
brother.
much for coming through, getting your passport stamped.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Getting sampling, breaking bread with us. We appreciate you, man. Culture Club Uncensored, man. Big up to Ed Lover, and we'll see you again next time. Thank y'all.
Peace, y'all.